mission of the Mikva Challenge is to develop great citizens and community leaders. And we have a really interesting way of making that happen because we let young people actually be citizens. They can work in elections, they can be election judges, they can go to the mayor and tell them what to do on their issues, they can create community activism projects out of their classroom. They can do all the things that super citizens do. So what we want to see is a world where we have a critical mass of thoughtful, ethical, and active citizens. And we're seeing that happen every day in our work. Agustin Flores is an exceptional young leader. He came to us 2 years ago and was our first youth commissioner for the Mayor's Advisory Council. And from the start, we knew we had a young man who was a really astute critical thinker, and really it was unlocking his leadership potential. So it's a lot of fun to see Agustin with the mayor in these meetings because he's gently nudging and pushing the mayor in a certain direction, and the mayor's pushing back. And you'd think that the mayor would steamroll Agustin, but it's not true. Agustin gently sort of moves the mayor in his direction. So we just see Agustin developing great critical thinking skills, great advocacy skills, and we think he'll be one of the leaders in this city for a long time to come.
The Youth Commission, what we do is we essentially serve as an advisory type council. We bring youth voice to the mayor. And so we focus on citywide issues that are affecting young people in Chicago because we feel that there's a lot of decisions constantly being made about young people and for young people, yet nowhere in that process typically are young people asked what they think and how they think certain issues should be addressed. It was definitely a pretty intimidating experience because, I think everyone in Chicago really has heard stories about how the mayor comes off very strong, intimidating, and you definitely have to go into the meetings prepared. But I think that's definitely where our facilitators did a great job in preparing us and letting us know, look, you're prepared, telling us, you've done sufficient research and no one knows about your experience in your neighborhoods and what the resources that you need in order to be successful more than you do. And so at first, like I said, we definitely were sort of hesitant because they told us, there are going to be points where he might ramble. Everyone rambles, and in particular, people who are in office tend to ramble, and so you're going to have to cut him off and really make the best use of your time in that meeting. And so when we initially did if you don't mind, let me get in a word here, or at first I know I was definitely I hope this goes well. Please don't snap on me, so to speak. And I know it was just really interesting to see that he took quite well to it, and I had mentioned before, the meeting really we got a lot done in that particular meeting. It was one of the first meetings that we had with him, and so it was just a really positive first experience because after we sort of did that initial interruption, it really was a good way to break the ice because it showed him that we were comfortable communicating with him, and it showed us in a sense that there was that comfort and that ability to have a real conversation and a real dialogue. So throughout the summer, that first summer, we created a survey in which we asked young people about a variety of problems and which ones they thought were most important and most affected their everyday life. And transportation came up as one of them. And so we just started looking at the relationship between and the everyday interaction between young people and the CTA. There were a lot of young people who were missing school or just altogether not being late to school or just altogether missing school because the student reduced fare cards that they had that are in use now are pretty complicated to use because first you have to have your orange, there's an orange card which you have to swipe, then you have to take it out and you have to show the CTA attendant your student permit, which then allows them to swipe their card. So you can't just put in your card like everyone else does and then take it out and then go. They have to swipe their card, but then in order to do that, you have to present yours. And then if you look a little too old, I know during the summer we had quite a few students, including myself, who couldn't use those cards because, attendance wouldn't actually believe you in terms of your age. So we found that a lot of students were missing school because of that. And now what stemmed from that was an altogether program, or a pilot program, that is now providing free fare for low-income students in 5 schools, 100 students in each school. And so we're working with the University of Chicago and the mayor and our council to see whether or not providing free fare for low-income students improves attendance and whatnot. And the students who are a part of this program sign a contract that says they won't have excessive absences or tardies, and that they won't have excessive disciplinary issues. And so we're really trying to look at what are the outcomes of that program and what effect does it have on young people, and hopefully expand that program.